Hi, I'm Keri Shull, and today I want to talk to you about three important topics. Now, first, our pricing strategy is very unique, and it's recently been under some scrutiny by other agents. The pricing strategy that we impose many times is to list a property at a very competitive price to compel buyers that are interested to come and bid. And so I'm going to bring two of our sellers that have recently sold with us to specifically give their feedback about the price they achieved, what they were expecting, and the results that they got. And I think that'll be fascinating for you. And secondly, we're going to talk about how our strategy is unique because we actually put our commission on the line and we partner with you to make sure that we're taking some of the risk. And we're so confident our strategy will work and the price that we're promising will deliver that we're comfortable doing that, which is unique to, I don't know anyone else in Arlington that's doing that right now. So I've heard people refer to something called buyer fatigue, and I wanted to address that directly. The buyers that I'm seeing, and granted my marketing is certainly unique, but they do not have buyer fatigue. They actually are predisposed to bid because they want properties and they're experiencing low inventory in Arlington. And so I want my sellers to specifically talk about that as well. If they felt buyers were not willing to bid or if there was a ceiling on what people were willing to bid based on the asking price. So we're going to address that directly too. So I wanted to invite two of my recent sellers. They have both, one is still under contract and one just finished a sale here, Jack and Rolf. And I told them that there's a few agents who have put our strategies under scrutiny, and I wanted to get their direct feedback and comments as to what they thought. So guys, one of the agents has recently said creating bidding wars by underpricing a listing, which that's hard to define, but doesn't work. And so Jack, I'm going to start with you. We just sold a property at 709 Harrison, right?
Yeah, Harrison was a good case. It's a good example. I remember when I talked to Keri long before we even listed it. She said, I think I can get $650,000 for this house, and I'm willing to put my commission on the line. And that really resonated with me because she was saying, hey, I'm going to put some skin in the game here, and if it goes for under $650,000, then I'll take it out of my cut, out of my commission. So. That really motivated me and kind of, she's a partner now in the transaction, but we listed it at $650,000 and we ended up selling at $715,000, $65,000 over ask. And we got 7 or 8 bids in the process, I think maybe in, less than a week, 4 or 5 days. Mm-hmm. And I think the strategy worked perfectly, and I think that Keri, really helped me through the process, and everything went smoothly, and it was a great transaction. But the big thing was, her being a partner in the transaction with the price. So.
Okay, and let me ask you this. So when we started the process, I said 650, right? And do you remember as time went on, we studied the comps. You were getting a little nervous because there was money going into the house. And do you remember the point when I said to you, "Hey Jack, if I can't get 685, you have my commitment up to that number"?
Yeah, and she actually bumped it up because as we looked at the comps and we looked at as the project came together and the product we were producing, we really felt like the price at $685 was even more realistic, and then she made that other offer, which was even more incentive for me in the process. So.
Well, and obviously I didn't have to do that, but my goal was to eliminate your fears, right? Which I wanted to price at $649, which for other agents. It's been said, don't listen to an agent who wants to price your property low because they don't have skin in the game. Well, the difference with the Keri Shull team and the commitment I make to my sellers is I do have skin in the game, my commission. And often I encourage my sellers to price low because that's what I believe is the best strategy for accumulating the most amount of interest and attracting the most amount of motivated buyers. Often a buyer thinks their price range may be in one area, and in fact when they fall in love with the property, they end up being able and willing to bid more because they get emotionally involved. So with that being said, Jack, I said, happily, if I'm wrong, I'll take the money out of my pocket, but I think the number is $649. Let me ask you this. If I had said, I think we should go in at $715, that's the ultimate result, would you have felt comfortable doing that?
I would have thought at the time that we wouldn't get $715 for the house, so I wouldn't have been comfortable listing, and I just don't think we would have had the response that we did. So I think we would have eliminated a lot of potential buyers. We wouldn't have gotten the reaction during the open houses. We wouldn't have gotten people competing for each other and having to think, hey, you know, if I want this house, I'm going to have to outbid numerous people. And I just think that 715, I never thought we were going to get that. I thought the max we could get would maybe be 685, best case 700. And 715 just really, you know, knocked it out of the park. I mean, it was a home run. So I think the strategy is right on, and I think it's a good way to approach, you know, selling your place.
Thank you. So there's people out there saying, do not underprice your home. And the reality is, I directly disagree with that. I feel that if you price your home at a very competitive number, you're going to drive traffic there. Therefore, it's going to result in the market telling you what your home is worth, and it will escalate. And that's been proven time and time again, these two scenarios. But also other agents that I've been talking to that are doing the same strategy that I am. It seems to be working well for them, but not quite the same. So what I would say about the terms and conditions, in your pool of offers, you had one with no appraisal contingency, one with no home inspection contingency, and one with no financing contingency. So for some sellers out there, they're thinking, my God, if I could get, you know, an offer that's as is or without a home inspection contingency, that would be music to my ears. And what I want to tell you is that is possible by creating demand. So we spent a lot of money and did very specific targeted marketing to get people to come in the door to look at the property on Florida that we just sold. And we had almost 100 families through the door in one weekend. Had we priced at 800, do you think that would have been possible?
I think the majority of the traffic would have been the nosy neighbours, and that'd be it. 800 would be the wrong price to generate interest in the property. I think the market is not going to pay any more than the property is worth to an individual and to the market. It just is not going to happen. So all you are essentially doing with your program is ensuring that enough interested parties get to walk through the property.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're considering selling your home in Arlington, I would really like you to give me a call. I'd like to sit down with you and talk to you about the results I believe I can provide for you and your family. We're going to be focusing on not only price, but also the terms and conditions that we would get, the timing for you and what's easiest, and we're going to do our best to get price at a maximum, to eliminate stress and hassle to your family, and most importantly, to have it happen on your time frame. So please give us a call directly. We'd love to sit down with you, talk about, you know, renovating your home if that's something that could generate you results, or if you have a home that may have a mold issue or some other factor that's really causing you concern. My team and I can help, and we're really excited to do so. Just give us a call.